What is up guys, I do hope you're well, and welcome to another video from the r/daddycringe subreddit. If you would like your story shared, don't forget to post it on r/daddycringe. If you are new here, please consider hitting that like, that subscribe button, and maybe even the notification bell. And let's get started. Now we have a story from the Evil 88. Entitled Woman Thinks I Work at a Grocery Store Because I'm Applying to Work There. English is not my best language, even though it's my first language, and sorry for formatting on mobile. Also, I'm horrible at spelling and punctuation. Very short backstory, so this happened a couple of hours ago. I went to apply for a job at Publix, and they have these terminals where you can apply for a job. So being 15, I need a job, so I decided to apply for a job at Publix, and to look presentable to make sure if anyone who works there sees me, so they don't tell their boss that I look like a pig and not accept my application. So I get dressed and get ready and head over there. Now it's time for the story. Cast, me, confused 15-year-old, SD, stepdad, EW entitled woman, M, manager, probably my future boss. So when we get in there, I head over to one of the terminals and start applying. My stepdad walks off to buy a couple of things, so after about 5 minutes I'm about to wrap up. This mountain of a lady right behind me says, "Excuse me, where are these products?" I say, "I'm sorry, but I don't know." "What do you mean you don't know? Don't you work here?" Exactly what it means. I don't know. You must know, you're using one of those computers for employees only. You use these terminals to apply here, which I'm doing to get a job to work here. Well, if you're applying for a job, you should know where everything is before you apply, dumbass. No need for the harsh language, lady. Usually you learn the stuff if you get the job. That's how it works. Yes, it does. I'm a manager, so I know how it works. Even though she looks like that tired ass old lady and nothing like a manager at a store. You must be wrong because they have to tell you where everything is if you get the job. Bullshit, dumbass. I'm going to tell the manager that an incompetent person is applying and make sure you don't work anywhere, and you won't tell me where everything is. You can gladly do that, but I'm pretty sure he won't listen to you. But he will listen to me. I'm a woman. He has to. You must be pretty dense just to think that. Now can you please leave so I can finish applying? No, I won't leave. So as me and this lady go back and forth, apparently my stepdad went to get a manager when he saw what's going on. The manager says, "Excuse me lady, why are you harassing this boy? Your future employee won't tell me where the product is, and it's pretty irresponsible to let someone apply here that doesn't know where everything is." If he's applying here, I will have to teach him where everything is, like every other employee. Well, that's not how it works. You must know where everything is before they even decide to get a job at any store. The manager then says, "Lady, calm down and please stop harassing this boy and let him finish applying." My stepdad says, "Yeah, please stop harassing my son and stop acting like a bitch. How fucking dare you say that to me? I'll get you banned from the store." "No, you can't. I can talk to corporate and get you all banned or fired." "Go ahead, lady, but I have all my employees plus this kid and his father backing me up." And apparently in blind rage for not getting her way, proceed to beat the manager and my stepdad with a cheap ass Gucci handbag. Now my stepdad being all fit, former cop and military and Irish, but all pretty bad when you mix them together, especially when he's angry, proceeded to rip the woman's bag in half, causing all of her products and apparently stuff she stole to drop out. Someone called security. This lady has stolen stuff in her bag. The entitled woman then bolts for the door, but apparently security was on their way, and someone being hit repeatedly with a cheap ass bag. So at the end of that, the lady was arrested for theft and assault. The manager said I handled it well, and I finished applying. Hopefully I'd get the job. So now we have a story from Kitten Lily. Entitled Mother thinks she and her daughters are too good to change with the rest of us ladies, in the ladies' changing rooms, so has boyfriend chase boys out of their changing room, so she and her brats can have it to themselves. My first formal post, so please forgive me for formatting mistakes. Extra long. This happened about 5 or 6 years ago, so memory of the exact word exchanges may be off a touch. Cue what started as a beautiful summer day. I admit my children are often on their electronics, but I do my best not to let their lives revolve around them, especially in summer. And one of our favourite activities when able is to visit the man-made lake park and make a day of it. They have volleyball courts and or badminton, other outdoor activities, some picnic areas, a bar, some pavilions, the lake and the beach, along with a small water slide, and obviously swimming, our main reason to go there, as well as lunch of their awesome chicken tenders, awesome price for a generous helping, which both my sons love. This is one of our trips there. A bit of layout as it is significant to the story. Depending on the path you take, the lake is on the right, on the left you pass the bar, then both the men's and ladies' lavatories. Past this is their offices or a maintenance room or area, then the changing rooms, this is significant, then the pavilion with a cafeteria. I bring up the significance of the lavatories and changing rooms. The lavs are your standard lavatories, stores, with toilets and sinks. Perhaps urinals in the men's room, never been in there, so wouldn't know. Changing rooms both consist of 2 shower stalls with cold running water. on wooden platforms with a drain beneath them, with curtains. There are also 3 changing stalls, basic stalls with curtains. There are no other bathroom facilities in here. Significant. Generally, we had an awesome day. My boys got to swim, went to the slide, we had an awesome lunch. As said, we had made a day of it. As it reached the end of the day, near closing as usual, we began to pack up. My boys were still in their preteens, but capable, so I went to change while I went to the ladies' changing rooms. I noticed that there was a longer line to the men's, so I knew it might take some time for my boys, which was fine, was in no rush. The ladies' room was pretty busy. I showered quick with my suit on, managed to get to a store, dried off, changed quick, and stepped out. I'd taken note the line to the ladies' changing rooms was still pretty long at the moment, and was grateful I'd gotten in when I had. Also seeing the line to the men's changing area had shrunk significantly, and a man was lingering near the entrance. I got to the table to see my youngest still in his suit, goofing around. I expressed he needed to go change, the park would be closing soon. There were still some kids pushing the swim to the last moment as always, and I did not want him to get stuck in another rush recalling the line was short, and I urged him to go and change now, so he headed up with his change of clothes. I was packing up our things, as my oldest was returning changed and ready to go, with an odd look on his face. I asked, "What's up?" And he said, "There is a man in there rushing the boys out the changing room." This struck me as odd. His own kids or everyone, I had asked. He said, he was rushing everyone to get out. About this time, my youngest comes back, his bathing trunk still on and clothes in hand. I asked him why he didn't change. He said, "Some guy's not letting anyone in the changing room." I asked my oldest if anything had happened while he'd been in there. He said, "No, just some guy rushing everyone out." Well, I gathered our stuff up to see what was going on, seeing there was indeed a man at the entrance and not allowing any of the boys to enter the changing room. There were a number of people outside looking annoyed but silent. I went up ready to ask if something had happened, why he's not letting the boys in. When I realised before he had even answered, I can hear feminine voices of girl children and a woman's voice coming from the men's changing room. At the same time, he said, "My girlfriend is in there with our daughters." A number of heads turned after he said this. I too was a bit dumbfounded by this, but only for a moment. I looked up pointedly and pointed to the sign. "You do know this is a boys' and men's changing room, right?" I was not quiet either. He sort of shrugs, and I hear the women shout from inside with an obvious attitude, "Oh, we'll be out soon." After another 10 minutes, they are still in there, and there are still boys outside waiting to use their own changing rooms. I was not having it. I went to the offices and informed the owner, who himself was shocked, went to the changing rooms only to be stopped by the man at the door. He informed the man that he was the owner and informed them quite firmly that what they were doing was not acceptable. But as it happened at that point, the little girls were apparently naked. He could not force them out immediately. He told them that they need to get dressed now and get out of the changing room. He stepped back, shaking his head in what can only be described as shock and disgust at the gall of this woman. He had moved to tell the staff at the cafeteria to watch out for her, as he went to see something else. She eventually saunters out arrogant as can be with an attitude, and a number of boys that had been waiting rushed in. She's already spouting off about being rushed out. I did not hold back and stated, "You had no right to be in there to begin with." She immediately comes back with, "Well, when you have 3 girls all having to pee," significant point as stated earlier, there are no other facilities in the changing rooms, just 2 shower stalls on wood platforms in the changing stalls. No toilets. She went on to say, "I could not wait and did not want me or the girls to change in front of anyone." I was so shocked by her shit attitude of entitlement. The fact that there was no toilets in the changing rooms had not registered with what she had said, so I at that moment did not realise I could have called her on that lie, unless, and it's a disgusting thought, she let her kids stand under the shower on a wood platform and pee in them. Who knows? I commenced to say, "So you thought it was okay for you to ignore the signs, put yourself above the rules and lay claim to the men and boys changing area for yourself because you thought you were too good to wait or change with the other ladies?" There was a bit more back and forth before. Her following line floored everyone with the same shit attitude. "My girls are shy, and it's not all about you, you know." My jaw dropped along with several others. I was like and said, "Seriously, that come from the woman that had her boyfriend rushing and chasing boys out of their own changing room or refusing to let others enter so you and your precious girls could have it all to yourself? And you're implying I think it's all about me?" At this point I was done. I was so wanting to slap this woman, and I'm not a violent person. I turned away because I did not want to do something stupid. The owner as well had returned at this point. As far as I could hear, he did try to be discreet. He told her that if she ever tried to do that again, she'd be banned from the lake. Still fuming a bit, but glad I spoke up and walked away with my kids. I admit people like that are huge triggers for me, and worse yet is people seeing stand back and doing nothing annoys me as well. However though, I do not look for trouble. I also know if no one calls these kind of people on their BS, it only encourages them to try and get away with more. I would hope she learned from this, for the sake of her little girls seeing. If not, she will likely have them growing up with the same sense of entitlement. Sadly though, so many of these people are too self-important to care. Edit, After taking my kids later, we'd both gone into the changing room to get my youngest changed. I found out that the woman did in fact let her daughters piss in the shower platform, as they both told me that the room actually smelled like piss. Oof, nasty. I know a lot of people do pee in showers and stuff, but on like a wooden platform, that's going to stick to that platform. Nasty. But fair play for you to standing up. That guy as well, to block the door and stop people coming in. I don't have much to say on this one because it's just infuriating, and it sounds like you said it all to begin with. There was already in there, so no one could go in to take them out because their girls were naked, and they could have claimed all sorts if you actually did go in there. They could have claimed, you know, trying to peek at the daughters, like being a paedophile or some shit like that, because that's what the line they would have went down if you tried bursting in there. Obviously, because they're so entitled. But yeah, fair play for you to stand up, and thank you for sharing that story. Great story, well written, much appreciated. Next we have a story from That Gamer Girl Arcane. EP harasses me and my two girlfriends because we're polyamorous lesbians. Now, I'm going to be Mr. Ignorant here. I'm so sorry. I don't know what polyamorous lesbians are. I don't even know if I'm saying it right, so please forgive me, and I promise I will Google it after I've read this. Hey everyone, how's it going? This is my first post here, but if you want to hear other EP stories I have, I'll link my posts, and hopefully Daddy Cringe will read them. Anyway, here we go. Background. So I've been in a relationship with my one girlfriend, Rue, for a while now. Since the summer of sophomore year in high school to be precise. My other girlfriend, Janet, have been friends since middle school, but due to an incident, I posted in a different story, was placed into witness protection and forced out my life until the middle of April of this year, where we finally met up. Two met up a few weeks back and hit it off great. Story, so on Saturday Rue told me she was taking me somewhere as a surprise for me, but I couldn't look. So I'm just like, okay, I won't look. And ended up falling in the passenger seat on the way up to Olive Garden, which I later found out was a surprise. That and Janet came with us. Rue picked her up at her place while I was asleep in the car. Turns out Rue had gotten a gift card for Olive Garden, which had a nice sum of money on it, so this would be a treat to us. When we got in, we were seated, our menus were given, and we ordered our drinks. We had some small talk before Rue became serious. Both of them looked at me and Rue and stated that the three of us needed to talk. My first thought, oh fuck, I unintentionally somehow pissed them off. That wasn't the case, thankfully. Turns out they just wanted to know if I was interested in trying a different approach to our relationship. A polyamory lesbian relationship. Again, sorry if I got it wrong. I had heard the word polyamory loosely within the LGBTQ+ community, so I vaguely knew what this was. Honestly, I had no reason to say no since I cared for them both. So I agreed that we could try. A new challenger appeared. I mean, oh my god, I can't go off that one. But EM and her houseborn. The EM and houseborn were a table away from us, so we hadn't noticed them, and they hadn't noticed us, at least until now. So after we gave our way to what we wanted to eat, along with their endless breadsticks, yum, the EM turned and looked at us, and the conversation went as followed. EM said, "What did you just say?" "What?" "You mentioned trying something. You weren't talking about being lesbian, were you?" I'm not sure how to respond back. Yes? Ugh, that's disgusting. It's people like you who make the world fucked up place it is now. Rue, slightly defensive. "Excuse me? This is a private conversation, and it doesn't include you in the slightest." EM then says, "How dare you talk back to me, you..." Insert racial slur here. "I wasn't talking to you, or were you not taught that's where you came from?" Now, I'm going to interrupt for a quick note here. Rue was born here in the USA, however she has a dark tan skin and dark brown hair from her heritage, but she has her mum's green eyes. She's very proud of her heritage, and woe be on you if you insult her, or her family, or her heritage. She is the oldest of her 8 younger siblings, and is like a second mother to them, as well as to Janet and myself. This is when she lets out the traditional sassy black woman out. Everybody was watching us at this point, and Janet and I knew it was pointless to stop her, so we just braced ourselves for the worst case scenario. Rue, pissed off about keeping her composure. "I'm sorry, but how dare I? How dare you? First you reprimand us for being lesbians, then you decide that being racist is going to make you appear better than us. Did your parents teach you that if you act all high and mighty, you'll get what you want from the world on a silver platter? I'm sorry, honey, but this is your wake-up call, because that is not the way the world works. If you expect other people to give you respect, that's what you got to give to other people first. If you think that I'm just going to let you talk smack about us or my heritage, you got another guest coming." Whew. I can see, I like the sass. Things could have gotten a hell of a lot worse, but a waiter came and gave EM her check, and EM left muttering something about how disgusting the LGBTQ community was, while dragging her HS behind her. Things went back to normal after that, and no one harassed us. We received our food and tipped the staff well when we finished our food. This is why I love Rue so much. She doesn't take anyone's shit. In case anyone's wondering, the three of us are indeed dating. Sorry, it's not as explosive as people might be expecting, but I thought it was interesting to share. Hope this finds you in good spirits. I like it. I've learned something. Well, actually, I haven't learned anything yet, but I've learned a new word. Polyamory. I think it's polyamory or polymory. Either one. I'm going to Google that and I'm going to learn what that's about. It sounds crazy. You get to date 2 people and you'll get along great. I think that's fantastic. Spread the love, man. And you're all happy doing what you're doing. So what the harm is anyone doing? No one's doing any harm. People still living in the fucking dark ages and getting offended by lesbians and gay people. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. But oh well. I'm so glad that you guys are getting on well. You got a cool little relationship going on there. I like it. And I like the sass. More sass, please. Thank you very much for sharing your story. Much love.